Ladies and gentlemen, honorable elected representatives, distinguished private sector leaders, passionate advocates, and esteemed guests, we stand at a defining Wisconsin moment here in the Milwaukee County Historical Society. When we look around at all these exhibits of history, we look at them with hindsight. We see things as that they were always meant to be. We look back and see them as foregone conclusions. That wasn't always the case. Every moment in history was once just a possibility. Every innovation was once just a dream. We all know it to be true that for every moment that's etched into the history books, it took hard work, sacrifice, determination, a little bit of luck, but more importantly, bold leadership. Like the bold leaders in our Wisconsin legislature, Senators Dora Drake and Patrick Testin, like the bold leaders in our private industry, like Ashley Gunn and Christopher Perceptions, and like the bold leaders in our Wisconsin pioneer founders, Russell Frum, Matt Friedel, Brad James, Spencer Smith, and Robert Orozco. Thank you. Thank you for your bold leadership and for blazing the trail for Wisconsin to move forward together. And also a huge thank you to our event sponsors, Coinbase and Stand With Crypto, of whom this event would most certainly not be possible, and whose steadfast commitment to this transformative technology has sent shockwaves through the global markets. And most importantly, thank you to everyone here, thank you to all of you for being here this evening, for coming together to share in a vision where Wisconsin wins. And as this evening's program comes to a close, I just want to leave you guys with this. Maybe you can see it. You guys know what this is? It's a Visa card. Yeah, well, can be. It's something that we all carry in our wallets. And not too long ago, this was an innovation. But for how long? How long until something else replaces this before this enters into the halls of history? And I can answer that actually with one stunning fact that stunned me. In 2024, Visa transacted $13 trillion of value. And $13 trillion of value is roughly the same amount as the entire United States goods and services. Quite an amount. However, in the same year, in 2024, stablecoins, which is a financial instrument run on blockchain, it reached $14 trillion of value in 2024, surpassing the financial juggernaut of Visa in transaction volume. And actually, in fact, just a month ago, people have referred to it already today, the U.S. Senate Banking Committee has passed the Genius Act, their stablecoin bill, with bipartisan support. And just a couple weeks ago, one of our representatives in the House, Representative Style amongst many others, just passed the committee for the stable bill. Ladies and gentlemen, we are no longer looking at the future. We are no longer looking to the future. We are no longer waiting for the future. We are here. We are now. And as a proud Wisconsinite, my family's been here for 5 generations. My ancestors were Irish and Swedish immigrants who came here on boats, penniless and illiterate, to work the land as farmers and laborers for generations in Fond du Lac County. Their story, like I'm sure many of you here who have similar stories, have carved our own history in Wisconsin and in the whole United States history. And Wisconsin's history is forged by policies and movements that free our people and fuel prosperity. There have been many sacrifices and many technologies that we take for granted, like electricity. Yes, there was a time when there wasn't electricity, not too long ago. In the 1880s, my forebears in Fond du Lac County labored by hand, by primitive machine, and in darkness. But in true Wisconsin fashion, the laborers, the workers, the leaders banded together to change that. Many don't know this part of Wisconsin history, but we led the way in pioneering rural electrification. We launched cooperatives all over the state and strung power lines to every farm. By 1900, Fond du Lac's fields were all electrified. We had powered milking machines that transformed what was even possible for our dairy. By the 1940s, it was an outright economic revolution. Our dairy output boosted by 30%, creating thousands of jobs, slashing costs in half. Because of bold leadership and cooperative efforts of our forefathers, the rural families gained 25% more income value and lifted communities out of poverty, giving the next generation opportunities to prosper. Us, all here, opportunities to prosper. And history marked this movement of electrification as a triumph for liberty and commerce. And ladies and gentlemen, we stand again at a defining Wisconsin moment here in the Milwaukee County Historical Society. Instead of the 20th century of electricity, we now have the 21st century challenge of digital technology, like AI, quantum computing, synthetic biology, more technologies that grow exponentially beyond our even capacity to understand. So how do we protect ourselves? How do we know that we are making the generations to come better off? How do we make sure that Wisconsin does not lose, but wins? Blockchain and digital innovation is the solution. Much like the electrification of rural Wisconsinites, we must digitize our great state with this technology to bring guardrails, transparency, regulation, and ultimately trust back into our institutions. Blockchain is very misunderstood, clouded by confusion, murky regulation, skeptics, and an education gap. And other Midwest states, like our panel mentioned, Minnesota, Ohio, Illinois, Michigan, are investing hundreds of millions of dollars in this technology. Will Wisconsin remain silent? No, not anymore. This event here is proof. This wind bill is proof. Everyone here is proof. Today, we have marked history by showing to the nation that in Wisconsin, this is a nonpartisan issue. This is our great opportunity. So I implore you with some simple calls to action. Everyone here, as they mentioned in the panel, reach out to your local officials, your state officials. Let them know that this issue matters. Let them know that this is a priority, that you see this future where Wisconsin wins. Sign up at standwithcrypto.org and participate in the largest nationwide grassroots advocacy organization dedicated to uniting global crypto advocates. And business owners, join the Wisconsin Business Blockchain Council. It will be your gateway to education and open commerce. We're Wisconsin. We did not stand down when our fellow Wisconsinites were without electricity. And we won't do this for digitization. We won't wait for financial freedom and liberty for our state. We will build it together by moving forward together so Wisconsin wins. Thank you very much, everybody. Please make your way upstairs and enjoy some delicious food, and that concludes our programming. Thank you so much.